You've got a system. Boots laced the night before, thermos filled and waiting, keys on the hook by the door, not in your pocket, not on the counter, on the hook. Always the hook, because 4:30 a.m. is not the hour for searching. Your system is what gets you out the door every morning without waking anyone. It works. It's always working. Today, it works one last time. Most people don't know what going underground actually feels like. They picture a cave, dark, cold, dripping. That's not it. A working mine is loud. Machinery, ventilation fans the size of trucks pushing air through tunnels that stretch for miles. There are lights. There are schedules. There are guys who've been doing this for 30 years who will absolutely destroy you at cards on lunch break. It's a job. That's the whole thing. It's just a job. You ride the elevator down. Miners call it the cage, which is accurate. Open metal, drops fast, and the world above you closes off like a book. The air changes. The temperature drops a few degrees. Your ears adjust to the pressure. By the time you hit the bottom level, you're in a completely different place than the one you woke up in. Different rules, different sounds, different version of your brain that switches on automatically, the one that pays attention. You've been doing this long enough that you don't need to think about most of it anymore. Your hands know the job, your feet know the tunnels. You could walk your section blind, and you have once when a light failed and your backup took a minute to find. You counted steps. You knew exactly where you were the whole time. That knowledge lives somewhere deeper than memory. It lives in your body. Today, that's gonna matter. The first sign is nothing you'd write home about. A thin crack in the tunnel wall that wasn't there last week. Rock dust on the ground in a place it doesn't usually collect. The kind of things you notice when you've been noticing things in tunnels long enough. You make a mental note. You keep moving. Could be nothing. Usually is nothing, except sometimes it isn't. The second sign is the ground, a pulse through the soles of your boots, barely there, the kind of vibration you'd miss if you were distracted, if you were talking, if you were thinking about anything else other than the floor beneath your feet. But you're not distracted. You're never distracted down here. Your brain learned a long time ago that distracted is a thing you can be on the surface. Not here. You stop. You look at the guy working 3 feet to your left. He's already looking at you. Neither of you says anything. You don't need to. There's a language that develops between people who work dangerous places together long enough. Not words, just a look that means, I felt it too, and now we both know, and what happens next happens fast. You start moving your crew back from the face. Calmly. No alarm, just back. Now. There is a sound a mountain makes right before it moves. Nobody teaches you this. Nobody puts it in a manual. You'll learn it from someone who learned it from someone else, passed down the same way most important things get passed down, quietly, between people who mean it. It's not loud. That's the part that surprises you when you finally hear it for real. It's almost gentle. And then it isn't gentle at all. The ceiling drops. Not all of it. A section, maybe 40 feet behind you, just lets go. Tons of rock coming down the way rock comes down when it's finally done pretending it was ever going to stay up. The sound is enormous and then immediately muffled because all that falling rock swallows the echo of itself. And then it's quiet, and the dust is everywhere, and you're still standing. You moved them back just far enough. 20 seconds earlier and it wouldn't have mattered. 20 seconds later and there's nothing left to tell. 20 seconds. That's the margin. You do what you do. You call out names. One by one, voice steady, waiting for answers in the dark. 3 answers come back. 1 doesn't. You spend 90 seconds working through the rubble before you find him pinned at the ankle. Not crushed, just caught. You get him free. His ankle is bad, but he's breathing and swearing at you, which means he's fine enough. 4 guys, all accounted for. You find the emergency cache bolted into the wall about 50 feet up the open passage. Orange box, you know what's inside before you open it. Emergency air canisters. 4 of them, 1 each, maybe 6 hours total if you're disciplined. Water pouches, foil blankets, a radio that gets 1 broken transmission out before the signal drops. They know you're down here. You know they know. That has to be enough. You organize what you have on the ground in front of you like you're laying out tools before a job. Because that's what this is. It's a job. A different kind than the one you came down here to do, but a job with a clear task in front of it and a clear outcome you're working toward. And you have spent your entire adult life being very good at that kind of problem. Survive until they reach you. That's the whole job. Here's the thing about waiting underground that nobody thinks about until they're doing it. Time doesn't move right. On the surface, an hour feels like an hour. Down here, with no light changes, no temperature shifts, no outside world giving you reference points, an hour can feel like 10 minutes or 10 hours, depending on what your brain decides to do with it. You keep time obsessively. You check watches, you mark intervals. Every 30 minutes, you knock on the water pipe that runs along the tunnel wall. 3 slow, 3 fast, 3 slow. A signal pattern old as mining itself. Rescue teams on the surface press listening equipment against the ground and wait for exactly that pattern. It tells them not just that you're alive, it tells them roughly where. The vibration carries through rock differently depending on distance and depth, and they can triangulate it if they have enough data points. So you give them data points. Every 30 minutes, without fail. Even when your arms feel heavy, even when the air starts tasting different. Between knocks, you keep the crew talking. You ask questions you already know the answers to. What are you making for dinner Sunday? What's your kid's team record this season? Dumb stuff, easy stuff. You're not actually interested in the answers, you're interested in the voices. As long as they're talking, they're conscious. As long as they're conscious, the situation is still manageable. You listen for the pauses getting longer. You listen for the answers getting slower. The air starts tasting different around hour 10. Not bad exactly, just thin. Like drinking water that used to be colder. Your body registers it before your brain does. Your breathing gets slightly deliberate where it used to be automatic. Small effort where there used to be none. You notice it and you don't mention it because the other 3 are noticing it too, and there's nothing any of you can do about it except breathe slower and move less and burn through what's left as carefully as you can. You split the emergency canisters unevenly. You give more to the guy with the bad ankle because his body is working harder than it should be, fighting the pain, and pain burns oxygen faster than most people realize. He doesn't know you've done this. You don't tell him. He wouldn't accept it if he knew. So you just hand him the canister and say nothing, and he uses it, and that's that. You do the math quietly. 6 hours of air, 4 canisters, 4 men. Except you've already redistributed. Except your canister went first and went fast because you've been the one doing the physical work. Moving the supplies, checking the passage, knocking the pipe every half hour without stopping. Your body has been burning more than theirs. You knew this when you started. You started anyway. Hour 13. One of the guys falls asleep, and you watch his chest for a long moment before you're satisfied it's actually sleep and not something else. His breathing is slow but even. His color is bad but stable. You pull the foil blanket tighter around his shoulders and sit back against the wall. The tunnel has gone very quiet around you. Not empty quiet, full quiet. The kind that has weight to it. You think about the crack you saw this morning, the dust on the floor, the way you knew before you knew. You've been underground long enough to feel the mountain thinking, and today the mountain made up its mind, and you got your crew back just far enough, and that's the only reason there's anyone left to sit in this quiet with you right now. 20 seconds. You think about that a lot, sitting there. You think about how close it was, and how most of the close calls in your life were close in exactly that way. Not dramatic, not loud, just a margin. A tiny gap between the thing that happened and the thing that almost happened instead. And most of the time, you never even knew the gap was there. Most of the time, the margin was invisible and you just kept walking. This time, you saw it. This time, you used it. Hour 16. The knock on the pipe comes back. Not yours, from the other direction. From above. A mechanical rhythm that doesn't sound like rock or water or anything natural. The drill. You press your palm flat against the wall and you can feel it coming down through thousands of feet of rock like a pulse, getting closer, slower than you want it to be, faster than you feared. You do the math you've been doing and trying not to do, and you do it one more time, and what comes out the other side of it is a number you sit with for a long moment before you fold it up and put it somewhere quiet. You look at your crew. They look okay, tired, pale in the headlamp light, but okay. You tell them it won't be long. You believe it, for them. The math says the drill breaks through in a few hours. The math also says that your section of the tunnel has been running on the wrong side of the ventilation problem since the collapse shifted the airflow, and you've been sitting in the worst pocket of it the whole time because that's where the pipe is, and the pipe is where you needed to be. The math doesn't leave you a lot of room, but your guys have room. That's what matters. That was always what mattered. When the drill breaks through, the first thing that comes down the shaft is light. Just a thin beam of it, pale and white and from another world entirely. Your guys are awake for it, hands reaching up, someone crying, someone laughing, both at the same time, which is a thing that happens when something inside a person finally lets go of what it's been holding. The capsule comes, goes back up, comes back, goes back up, comes back 3 times. On the 4th trip down, the rescue team sends a camera first. The camera finds you exactly where you are, sitting against the wall, headlamp still on, your hand still resting on the pipe, not reaching for anything, not leaning away from anything, just there, exactly where you said you'd be, exactly where the signal said to look. You knocked the pipe every 30 minutes for 16 hours. The last knock came 4 minutes before you stopped. You gave them everything you had down to the last possible moment. And then you gave them that too. You reached the dead end, and you made sure everyone else found the way out. That's the whole story. That's the only story that matters.